Open your ears, expand your mind. Mr. Ford's class has just begun.
The man's a menace.
Good teacher. He really seems to care. About what, I have no idea.
Open your ears, expand your mind.
Anybody tells you words and ideas can change the world. Can change the world.
Good teacher. He really seems to care.
The man's a menace.
I don't play well with others.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name, of course, is Scott Ford, the Libertarian Professor, your home for conservative and libertarian talk radio when I get a chance to broadcast. Today is Tuesday, February 7th, 2017, and welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're listening to us live on our YouTube channel or you're listening to us on one of our favorite internet radio stations like RagingElephantsRadio.com, BlackMarketLiberty.com, or LibertyRadioTexas.com. And today's show is not one that you probably want to have the kids around for. This is going to deal with some adult material. Oh, if you didn't see the news, a Dallas teacher could be facing the axe. A Dallas teacher could be getting fired because of a porn past. That's right. Apparently, this teacher had done porn in her past. Now, the question I'm going to raise today, the question I want to bring up is, should this teacher have been fired? Should this teacher be fired? And we're going to take you through this because this is not, in my opinion, a simple cut case. I don't think that this is simply a matter of get rid of her. There are some circumstances surrounding this whole thing. And guys, this gets convoluted. This story, there is, this could be a movie of the week thing here, okay? This thing could be a Lifetime movie when this thing all settles. Because this is not simply, a teacher's doing porn on their spare time. This isn't, she teaches during the day, Monday through Friday. From 8 to 3, she's a teacher. But once Friday night comes, watch out, kiddies, she gets all porny. No, we're not talking about that, okay? What we're talking about is actually very convoluted. There's a lot of stuff that's going on to this story. And so we're going to talk about in two parts. We're going to talk about one, should she be fired? What exactly is going on? How did this come to light? And the second part, I want to talk about the hypocrisy, the absolute hypocrisy of those people who would demand this teacher step down, who would demand this teacher's head on a silver platter, and talk about the fact that there's a lot of hypocrisy here, because a lot of the people that would claim, oh, well, she should be gone, also stand up for people that do a lot worse. And so all of that today on the show. Once again, this is probably not a topic that you want the young kids to listen to. You have been warned. And we'll be right back after these commercials with the story of the Texas teacher who could be getting fired for doing porn. You don't want to go anywhere, guys. This is going to be a fun show.
Did you miss an episode of The Libertarian Professor, or just want to go back and listen to one of your favorites? Then visit thelibertarianprofessor.online. You can find links to our shows on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. Once again, that is thelibertarianprofessor.online.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E AC and Heat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. TNO produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. TNO, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, this is Scott Ford, the Libertarian Professor. When I want to listen to music that doesn't suck, I tune to blackmarketliberty.com. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. Happy to have you here. Just posting the link to the show right now on Facebook. What we're talking about today is a news story that came out last week, towards the end tail of last week, about a Texas teacher that could be getting fired for doing porn. Now, those of you out there are probably going, well, of course she should have gotten fired. We have to have standards. We have to have some type of standards. I mean, we just can't let anybody teach our children. And the very thought, oh goodness, the very thought of this person engaged in pornography teaching our children is upsetting. Now, there are some very extenuating circumstances that I want to talk about here. And we're going to lead you through the thought process because there's a lot more to this that isn't being reported. Now, in full disclosure, I know this teacher. I know who this is personally. We're Facebook friends, okay? So, I mean, it's not like we have coffee, but I know who she is, okay? And so let me read you the story. The Dallas News broke this story. And it was broke on January 31st. A sixth grade teacher at an all-girls academy in Dallas ISD says she was fired after word got out that she was an adult film actress more than 16 years ago. Let me repeat that because that is a key thing here. 16 years ago. We're not talking about somebody who is engaged in pornography right now. It's not like I teased you, right? I did a little tease before the commercial break, where I said, during Monday through Friday, she's in the classroom, but on the weekends, she cuts loose and does porn. And that's not the case. What we're talking about is something that happened 16 years ago. I want you to think back 16 years back. I want you to just, in your mind, think about 16 years ago. This was 2001. 2000 and 2001 that we're talking about here. Where were you back in 2000, 2001, 2002? What kind of person were you? What were your hopes? What were your dreams? Where did you live? What did you wear? What did you look like? This is 16 years ago. A lot can change in 16 years. Heck, in 16 years, I was just married. I had just left chiropractic college in complete disgust with the cheating that was going on. I was pretty much aimless. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it was the beginning of my teaching career. 16 years ago was the beginning of my educational career. But think about it, 16 years back. I mean, think about that just for a second. 9/11 happened about that time. Think about how far back that feels. Think about how far back it feels before we got into all these wars. This was before Obama took office. This is still under Bush Jr. So we're not talking about something that happened, this weekend or last weekend, because I honestly would tell you, if this was something that this teacher was engaged in, if this was something that this teacher was actively engaged in, moonlighting, doing a little porn on the weekend, then yeah, by all means, I would say fire her, because we have to have moral and ethical standards. In many cases, our teachers are the only ones these kids can look up to. Now, I know, dear listeners, you are not part of this, but I've taught in many schools where really the only positive role models some of these kids have had, and how sad is this, have been the teachers that have taught these kids. So I'm all for having an ethical and a moral level here. But 16 years ago, when does a statute of limitations come to an end for stupidity? When does a statute of limitations come for doing something very stupid? Now, keep in mind, we're not talking about breaking the law here. We're not talking about she committed a felony. Because if she committed a felony, then game over. You never step foot back in a classroom. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a woman who 16 years ago did something that I am sure she would never do right now. That's something that she probably regrets doing in her life. So let's go through the story. So she was an adult film actress more than 16 years ago. Resa Woodward, who taught science at the Young Women's STEM Academy at Balch Springs Middle School, I apologize if I mispronounced it, was pulled from the classroom on November 29th. Now, here's something else that I want to point out. She's teaching at a women's academy. She's teaching at a girls' academy. I could understand, maybe to some degree, if she was teaching at an all-male academy, or if she was teaching a class of male and female students, how it might be argued it's a distraction because maybe the male students are Googling her. But she's teaching at an all-women's academy. Now, I know you probably got some women out there who, go play for the other team. But you know what? She's in the perfect environment for somebody who did this 16 years ago. She's working with young women. Talk about somebody for a second who could guide these young women. Maybe the district shouldn't be ashamed of what Miss Woodward did 16 years ago. Maybe instead, what the school should do is make it very loud and clear. Look, our teacher did pornography 16 years ago. Now, how do you feel about it? Talk to these young ladies. Is this something that you want to engage in? Do you want to do porn? Do you want to dance with the pole? I mean, talk about an opportunity to help shape these young women into not making the same mistakes that she did. Just an idea. And again, I want to point out something very, 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 very clear here. We're talking about something that happened 16 years ago. Now, if there was a continuing record, if there was over and over again where this Miss Woodward engaged in improper behavior. So, for example, let's say that, okay, she did adult films, and then afterwards, well, she was busted in drugs, and she has a felony, and she was arrested. And that's not what we're talking about. If that's what we're talking about, I would say fire her, get rid of her, and fire whoever hired her. But that's not what we're talking about here. So she taught science at the Young Women's STEM Academy. Not to mention science, teaching science. Science teachers are hard to find. I mean, we're not talking about English teachers here or social studies. So we're talking about science teachers. Those are not easy to find, especially good ones, especially gregarious ones, especially ones who make it interesting. Look, I know Resa. And again, we're Facebook friends, and I know we're in passing. It's kind of like, hey, hi kind of thing. But I got to tell you, having seen her Facebook feed, having seen what she does, this is a woman who I think could reach these kids, who could make class fascinating and make class interesting. And we're pulling her from the classroom. And again, I have to ask a simple question. Is something that she did 16 years ago, again, didn't break the law, but is something she did 16 years ago, should it ruin her life? Again, it's not illegal. We could argue it's immoral, but it's not illegal. She did not break the law. So where does the statute of limitations come to an end? By the way, if you're still saying, no, Scott, no, she needs to be fired, wait till you find out why this came to light. Wait till you find out why this all came to light. Because you're going to find out the reason why this came to light was because Miss Woodward did the right thing, because Resa spoke up. Resa did something that most people wouldn't do. She stood up and did something right. Heck, it could even be argued Resa might have saved lives by what she did. And the punishment from Dallas ISD is the losing of a job. So let me continue the story here. District spokeswoman Robin Harris said Woodward was still considered to be on administrative leave as of Tuesday. She declined to release additional details, citing personal matters, saying only, quote, the process continues. So my question here is, how did this even come to light? Woodward, 38 years old. 38 years old. 38 minus 16. She was 22. Let me do the math again for you. 38 years old, okay? She's an old lady. And the next time I see her, I'm probably going to get punched. But she's 38 years old. She's looking at 40, okay? She's 38 years old. Minus 16 would make her around 22, 21 years old. I don't know about you, but I was pretty stupid at 21, 22 years old. I mean, I was in a fraternity, for God's sakes. I mean, come on. But this is the age that she was at when she did this film. She was 20. She was in her early 20s. By the way, biologically speaking, her frontal lobes had not fully developed yet. The frontal lobes, of course, being the home for cognitive and reasonable thinking. So something she did at 22 years old is haunting her at 38 years old. Woodward, 38, said she is fighting termination. Good for her. Records obtained by the Dallas Morning News this week shows that the district was first made aware of Woodward's work in the adult film industry. I love how they dance around the word. Look, porn Work in the adult film industry after an anonymous tip on March 10th. An internal review of the time cleared her of any policy violations. By the way, we're going to talk about this anonymous tip. Because this anonymous tip opens up a whole different conversation. Woodward said district officials told her that she could continue teaching unless her previous career became public. That happened this fall. Quote, I taught in an all-girls STEM academy that was about empowerment for women, Woodward said Tuesday. The sad thing is that if these girls find out that I'm being punished for something I did nearly 20 years ago and had no control of and fought to get out of, well, what does that say about empowerment? She added, that involvement was not of my choosing. Now, here's my thing. Even if it was of her choosing, 22 years old, 20 years old, 20, 21, 22 years old, 38 years old. We all did stupid stuff. Now, you might be saying, oh, I never did that. Look, I've cleared FBI background processes, okay? So I did stupid stuff, but I didn't do stupid stuff to keep me from getting top secret clearance. But I still did stupid stuff. Everybody does stupid stuff in their early 20s. 16 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Woodward said she was forced into pornography when she was living with an older man and they had financial troubles. She said she was about to leave the situation, finish school, and become a teacher. She tried to move on. Then a tip came to the district in March saying her name was Robin Foster. Robin Foster, of course, being, I believe, her stage name. A web-based adult film database lists Robin Foster as active in the industry from 2001 to 2004 and associates the actress with 16 movies, including compilations of previously recorded materials that was released as recently as 2013. Well, she can't control when it was released. Quote, the caller was concerned because she did not want her child exposed to things like this. Now, I got a question for you. How do you know that the teacher was involved in adult films? How do you know that her stage name was Robin Foster? How would you put those together? Maybe anonymous tipster who doesn't want their child taught by a person engaged in adult films, maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe you recognized her. Maybe you're on late night watching a little internet porn yourself, and you go, hey, wait a minute. I recognize that person. It's the teacher. Well, how does that equate to being a hypocrite? The caller was concerned, like I said. According to the report, the tipster felt Woodward was trying to deceive the students and parents. Kate Gorman-Bauer, the district's director of professional standards, searched the internet and confirmed that Woodward was in numerous pornographic videos and photos. Initially, Woodward declined the allegations, then confirmed it was her, according to the district investigation. Woodward told district officials that activity stopped in 2001 and believed a man who knew her was retaliating against her by alerting the district, according to reports. Quote, I've been trying to live my life as far as possible from this stuff for a long time, she told officials, according to the report. She said no students, colleagues, or supervisors were aware of her previous career. We're going to talk about that, by the way, more when we come back after this break, guys, because this whole anonymous tipster thing, when you find out why this all came to a head, you're going to find out it was because Miss Woodward, again, stood up and did the right thing. And she was punished. She was eviscerated by a certain group of people for doing that. So all of this, guys, when we come back and more, don't go anywhere. You're on social media? Well, so are we. Want more? The Libertarian Professor Radio Show? Then visit us on Facebook at The Libertarian Professor. Or, if you're on Twitter, check us out at TL Professor. Once again, Facebook, The Libertarian Professor, and Twitter, TL Professor. See you online.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. T&O produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. T&O, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
This station and hundreds of other radio stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed. And because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Liberty Radio Texas, broadcasting from Liberty County, Texas. Tune in for the best political talk show, music variety shows, and all the country and rock we can cram in between. Here's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.libertyradiotexas.com or download the app onto your smartphone.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product. This is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about the Texas teacher who could be fired for a past career doing adult film pornography, ladies and gentlemen. 16 years ago, when she was in her early 20s. She's looking at 40, ladies and gentlemen. She's 38 years old. Looking really close to 40. And she's being punished for something she did when she was 22 years old. So I got to ask the question once again. What's the statute of limitations for doing something stupid? And again, she didn't break the law. She didn't hurt anybody. Miss Woodward's saying that she did it mainly because she was kind of in an abusive relationship. She needed the money. But even if that wasn't the case, 21, 22 years old versus a 38 years old. If you don't think there's a difference, go hang out on a college campus right now. Go to a college campus and see how absolutely vapid, how clueless most of the college kids are. I mean, 21, you're in college, okay, for the most part. I mean, that's college aged. Then you look at a 38 years old. 38 years old, I mean, that used to be middle age. That's a big change in your belief system and how you think, in your way of doing logic, your wisdom. And do we still hold people accountable for stupid stuff they did that long ago? Especially, I mean, again, if the situation was during the week, she's a mild-mannered teacher, but on the weekend, she cuts loose and goes porn crazy. That would be different. That would be completely different, and I would say fire her. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a teacher who did this back in 2001, when she was 22, 21 years old. Let's continue here. Bauer closed to the investigation on March 23rd, noting that, quote, Woodward's past participation in pornography does not in itself constitute a policy violation. But Woodward's political activities last fall led to her outing, she said. Woodward is a well-known activist in the Libertarian Party of Texas, and that's now, like I said, I know her. This is where I know her from, where she serves as state membership coordinator and a district representative. She's also on Select. Or at least she was on Select. I still think she's on Select. She frequently contributes articles to the various libertarian-related websites. Woodward said she wrote in a Facebook post last fall. Okay, now here's the rub. Are you ready, guys? For those of you still on the border here, this is why her teaching career could be coming to a abrupt end. Okay, this is why. Because, and I remember this post, I remember when Resa posted this. She was driving. Picture this for a second. She was driving, okay? So you've got this teacher. She has this back in the early 20s, okay? Back when she was early 20s. She's driving. She notices a car in front of her. The car in front of her is swerving, acting erratic. So what does Miss Woodward do? Miss Woodward calls the police and gives them information. Look, I think I've got a person who's drunk in front of me. I think we got a drunk driver in front of me. And Miss Woodward, Resa, posted this on her Facebook page. So Woodward said she wrote in a Facebook post last fall that she had to call police on a drunken driver while traveling. A man claiming he was associated with the Libertarian Party in another state became upset with the post because his attitude towards police. She said he then detailed her past on social media. Now, I want to bring attention to this because this needs attention. Miss Woodward called the police, rightfully so. Rightfully so. Absolutely correct in what she did. She thought the person driving on the same road as she was driving impaired, was driving drunk. She didn't call the police because the guy cut somebody off. She didn't call the police because the guy flipped the bird. She didn't call the police because the guy was on his phone. She called the police because as another driver, this person's driving was so obvious to her that she thought this person was a danger to others and himself, and she made a phone call. She reported a possible drunk driver on the road. Of course, her mistake was posting this on her Facebook page because there is a group of people that, for some unknown reason, think they're libertarians. It's called the anarchists. And the Libertarian Party has a problem with these anarchists. For some reason, the anarchists don't understand that Libertarian Party is not the anarchist party. And so an anarchist, and she got flack from other anarchists. Let's be very clear. Let's label them who they are. They're not libertarians. They're anarchists. These anarchists, one in particular, decided to take it upon himself to ruin this lady's career. Decided to take it upon himself to try to destroy a person's ability to keep a roof over their head, food in their stomach, the lights on, and ruin an entire person's career. Why? Because she called the police on a suspected DUI. So was she punished for her political views? Yes, she was. Was she punished by libertarians? No. She was punished by anarchists who don't understand they're not libertarians, they're anarchists. And the irony of this whole situation is If you are in the Libertarian Party and you're an anarchist, you're automatically a bad anarchist because anarchists don't believe in government and you're part of a political party. Wah. It's like a bunch of introverts deciding to have a parade or a bunch of introverts deciding to form an introvert club. Who's showing up to that one? Anybody who shows up to that club automatically is a bad introvert. And so Miss Woodward was punished. And I remember watching the post because she posted this. And the anarchists, by the way, if you've caught any of my Homeland Security shows, you know that anarchists was the first wave of terrorism. Anarchists are not nonviolent. Anarchists have a very rich history of violence, of blowing stuff up, of firebombing things. That's what an anarchist is. And that's what I would equate this anarchist to, who tried to destroy her career. He basically threw a firebomb on her career. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's be very clear who the problem is here. The problem is the anarchist. And that's who went after her. Woodward said she notified Dallas ISD officials of his post. She was placed on administrative leave in November. Quote, they told me they were pursuing termination because it became public. Now, how does that sound? Does that not sound shady to you? To me, I would want a full investigation of Dallas ISD. I would want a full investigation of their superintendent. I want a full investigation of their school board. Why do you ask? Well, Scott, why are you asking that? Why? Wait, we went from porn to anarchists. Now you're running an investigation of the Dallas ISD administration? Yes. Why? Because Miss Woodward's past was all right when nobody knew about it, when it was secret. Shh, keep it secret, keep it safe. When nobody was talking about it, it was fine. But the minute it became public, oh no, now, that tells me that there's some pretty shady stuff going on in Dallas ISD. If Dallas ISD is putting the bar not at what they think is moral, not what they want to consider these are the values, but simply from the point of view of as long as nobody finds out about it, then we're okay with it. It sounds a lot like the district I used to teach at, Humble ISD. We had a teacher, an English teacher, a high school English teacher, sleeping with a quarterback. But as long as nobody found out about it, shh, keep it secret, keep it safe, everything was all right. We had a director of a department, I'm not going to name the department, in Humble ISD because I don't want to get sued, but this was years back. The guy was caught watching porn at school, at work. Did they fire him? No, they moved him to a position where he wouldn't be dealing with children. Why? Because they wanted to keep it secret, keep it safe. Shh. So my thing here is if Dallas ISD knew about what she did when she was in her early 20s and was okay with it, but they based their moral compass on whether or not it makes the news, that makes me question what also Dallas ISD is keeping hidden. What other secrets is Dallas ISD trying to keep a lid on? Which is why I'm saying, let's investigate Dallas ISD. Let's take a look at the board members. Let's take a look at the superintendent. What secrets are in their closets? Woodward said she's exploring options to fight her termination. She noted that she was praised as a teacher, earning recognition from Dallas ISD in merit pay increases for her work 2 years in a row. I want to once again reiterate, Miss Woodward is a science teacher. Science teacher. Go back in your mind. Go back in your mind. Go back in your memory. And think of science teachers you had back in high school. Think of your science teachers. How many science teachers did you have in high school? How many you know what? How many teachers in your entire past stand out? I've had a few. Not many. Usually bad teachers were the rule. Good teachers for me were the exception. But here's a teacher who's teaching science. which again is hard to find teachers who are qualified to teach science, who obviously had been doing a really good job. How can you say that, Mr. Ford? Well, it's simple. Because she was earning merit pay for 2 years in a row. You don't get merit pay unless you're doing something right. So again, adding to the baggage here of why are they firing her? 21, 22 years old when she did this, wasn't breaking the law, isn't doing this on the weekends now. She's 38 years old. She's closer to 40 now than she is to 30. A lot of maturation happens from your 20s to your 40s. Science teacher, obviously a good science teacher if she's getting merits. She filed an appeal with the Texas Education Agency, but spokeswoman Dieta Culberson said the agency wasn't assigning an independent hearing because the appeal was filed incorrectly. Didn't dot the I's, cross the T's, and fill things out in triplicate is what it sounds like to me. Actually, what it sounds to me like is TEA is a worthless organization and just doesn't want to get involved in doing what they should be doing and protecting the kids. But hey, what else is new with TEA? Don't go anywhere, guys. There's still more to the story.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E AC and Heat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
You're on social media? Well, so are we. Want more? The Libertarian Professor Radio Show? Then visit us on Facebook at The Libertarian Professor. Or, if you're on Twitter, check us out at TL Professor. Once again, Facebook, The Libertarian Professor, and Twitter, TL Professor. See you online.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. TNO produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. TNO, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product, this is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing, no one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, From fruity to cookies, or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about the Texas teacher, Miss Woodward, who could be getting fired for something she did when she was 21, 22-ish years old, early 20s. And if you're just joining us, let me recap here. Miss Woodward was an adult actress in her early 20s, something like 16 years ago. 16 years ago. When she was like 21, 22 years old. Again, she's about 39 years old right now, or 38 years old. She's a science teacher. She's gotten merit pay for 2 years in a row. And she's fighting dismissal. Not because she was engaged in this 16 years ago. And Dallas ISD has already said this, at least in this news article. What Dallas ISD is basically saying is because it came to light. Which is interesting. Which makes me question Dallas ISD in general. By the way, if you just do a quick Google search, Dallas ISD controversies, they got a whole bunch of fun stuff about the superintendent who resigned in 2015. So she filed an appeal with the Texas Education Agency, TEA, which is about worthless. And they refused to listen to it because apparently she didn't file the paperwork correctly. Also, in case you missed it, the reason why all this came to light, the whole reason why Miss Woodward's career has been deep six, has been torpedoed, was because Miss Woodward saw what she believed to be a drunk driver on the road. She saw something that she considered very dangerous, something that could take the life of somebody out there, could cause an accident, could kill somebody. And she did exactly what any good person should do. I would be more concerned if she didn't report it. But Miss Woodward's one fatal mistake, her fatal mistake in this story. By the way, I honestly think that this story could be a Lifetime movie. I think this could be a movie. I'm telling you right now, this smells like a movie deal. I'm just saying. Now, not big screen, but a television made for television movie. This has all the markings of it, okay? Miss Woodward's fatal flaw, Miss Woodward's mistake, was she posted on Facebook. She posted on Facebook that she had called the police, and I'm paraphrasing. Okay, this is not the exact words, but she called the police because she thought the person was drunk driving. The person was out there DUIing, okay, driving under the influence. And what wound up happening next is an anarchist. You got to love the anarchist, right? The anarchist. You got to love the anarchist. An anarchist, and other anarchists, by the way, also took offense to her. Oh, she got grilled. I saw the Facebook post. She was grilled. She was eviscerated. All these peace-loving, nonviolence, blah, blah, blah. We believe in na. Well, it's amazing how fast. And by the way, if you know your history, it's no surprise. Anarchists have a proud history of throwing Molotov cocktails and blowing crap up. In fact, if you really want to get into the history of it, go look at the first wave of terrorism. They were anarchists. The first wave of terrorists was anarchists. They are a violent bunch. And so the anarchists came out of the woodwork to show how open-minded they were to eviscerate Miss Woodward. How dare you call the police? How dare you? How dare you, sir? Oh, you're evil. You know what? If I saw the post that she thought she saw a drunk driver, but she refused to call the cops because cops are bad, I would be concerned. To me, that would be more of a concern. But Miss Woodward did the right thing. And the anarchists, which really pepper the Libertarian Party for some God-unknown reason, it's the Libertarian Party, not the Anarchist Party. And by the way, if you're an anarchist and you're a Libertarian Party, you're a bad anarchist. How can you say that? Anarchists don't believe in government, and you're part of a political party. You're part of the problem. Just saying. And so she was eviscerated. She was absolutely eviscerated. But one person took it a little further and decided to firebomb her career, decided to go after her career. Continuing back from the Dallas News, Texas teachers must adhere to a code of ethics that requires them to have, quote, good moral character, end quote, and be, quote, worthy to instruct or supervise the youth of the state, end quote. Breaking that code can be grounds for termination. Yes, it can be. I want you to pay attention here, okay, to the code of ethics. As a teacher, as an educator myself, and by the way, I will not step foot back in a classroom. Not because of the kids, love the kids, but because of the crappy administrations and how schools are run today. I will not step foot back in a classroom. When principals are more interested in their next career move, when we have superintendents who get millions of dollars, literally, for doing what teachers are doing, I mean, come on. But it's interesting. Teachers, we have this code of ethics. We have this code of ethics of having to be good moral character, to be worthy to instruct or supervise the youth of the state. What this basically means is if I'm a classroom teacher and I get drunk off my ass in a bar and I get wasted and there's a parent there and a parent records me, and I'm drunk, then I could get in trouble for that. Now, I could definitely get in trouble if I got drunk in a bar and got into a fight or tried to attack somebody. Oh, I would be fired in a heartbeat, and rightfully so. If I was arrested for domestic abuse, if I had a Class A misdemeanor that might have been pleaded down, then yes, I could be fired for that. And rightfully so. But let's be clear what Miss Woodward did. Miss Woodward, in her early 20s, when we're all stupid, when we all lack wisdom, when we all lack the thought that we will one day get close to 40 or go over 40, she did something like this. Now, she does say that this was a relationship that had issues, to say the least, and they needed the money. But even if she did it because she wanted to do it, 21, 22 years old, not breaking the law, where do we draw the line for bad decision-making? Again, 16 years ago. Good moral character, worthy to instruct or supervise the youth of the state. I want you to pay attention to that, because when we come back after this break, we're going to start talking about some of the hypocrisy, some of the absolute hypocrisy we have, where teachers are expected to be superhuman and are expected to be above reproach. But yet we turn a blind eye so many times, so often, to those who we should also hold to that same bar. But of course we don't. We'll be right back after these messages, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Did you miss an episode of The Libertarian Professor, or just want to go back and listen to one of your favorites? Then visit thelibertarianprofessor.online. You can find links to our shows on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. Once again, that is thelibertarianprofessor.online.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E ACandHeat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. T&O produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. T&O, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Hey, this is Scott Ford, the Libertarian Professor. When I want to listen to music that doesn't suck, I tune to blackmarketliberty.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Texas teacher, Miss Woodward, who could be getting fired for something she did almost 20 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, this has become a national story. FoxNews.com is carrying it. Maxim.com is carrying it. New York Post is carrying it as well. And of course, what's interesting, obviously this is Maxim. I mean, Maxim is kind of Playboy light. Honestly, honey, I'm reading it for the article. They, of course, have the story. They've got a sexy teacher at a blackboard. I mean, they're obviously kind of creating a whole feel. They're using pictures of her from back in the day. They are saying that it's pretty messed up. Now, what you don't know about Miss Woodward, excuse me, apparently late at night my mouth starts to go, is that not only is she a science teacher, not only has she gotten merit pay, not only is the person who she was 16, 20 years ago so much different than today, she also has a master's degree. She got a master's degree in 2013. If I remember correctly, it's in science. Do we want people like this out of the classroom? And again, I'm not talking about something that's going on right now. You know, there's another article. This is from the Daily Caller. And this is published on 9/14/2015. Okay, so this is back in 2015. This one needed to be fired. High school band teacher abruptly resigns after her porn star double life gets exposed. A high school band teacher in Ohio has resigned in response to revelations that she moonlights as an internet porn star. Now, this is different. This is different. Why is it different? Because this is her second job. This is her part-time job, which, by the way, probably pays better than her full-time job. But that's beside the point. Here's a teacher who is actively engaged in the adult industry. actively engaged in it, yes, then you fire them. But this is something that happened over 16 years ago, didn't break the law, and is still being punished. Now, the reason why, again, if you miss the reason why, it's because she called the cops on a potential DUI. She called the cops because she had concern over human life. And the anarchists didn't like that at all. Oh, no, no, no. So here's my question. We hold teachers to a level of accountability that we hold nobody else to. Now, I'm okay with that. As an educator myself, I've been an educator for 16-ish years. I am okay being held to a higher standard. Because like I said at the beginning of the show, in many cases, unfortunately, and this is a sad commentary on families right now, in many cases, the teacher is probably the best role model many of these kids have. And so I am perfectly okay with having a higher bar for teachers. But it's kind of funny how all of a sudden that high bar falls away. It's funny how when we start talking about other people involved in education, oh, well, we don't care about that. Now, for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that Dan Huberty is not exactly on my Christmas card list. The guy is slime. Last year, we caught him, or they caught him, coming off the floor in Austin drunk. If you Google search Dan Huberty drunk, you can find it. Now, for those of you who've been watching me going, man, Scott, you keep beating this dead horse. I want to point out something. I want to illustrate this. Dan Huberty, Republican District 127, is making laws specifically regarding the education of your children. He is out there in Texas making Texas laws specifically regarding the education of our children. Not only is he making laws, he's also on the educational committee. This man has more power over the future of your child's education than some teacher who did adult acting 16, 20 years ago. And yet, they happen to catch him this one out of many times, I've been told, where he is drunk on the job. Again, remember, as a teacher, that moral bar is so high that if you catch a teacher drunk at a bar, record them, they could lose their job. If that teacher then goes and tries to attack somebody, they will definitely lose their job and probably lose their license. But yet we have a Texas legislator on the educational committee who's making laws regarding STAR tests, who's making laws regarding hours, who's making laws regarding how many kids can be in a classroom, who's making laws regarding teacher certifications and teacher qualifications, coming off the floor drunk. Now you might say, well, he might have had a bad day. Yeah, maybe. But if you say that, you're already equivocating, saying it's okay for this guy to be drunk on the job, but no, a teacher. We got to hold them to higher standards. Why? They're both public servants, except one's getting paid a hell of a lot more money. But it just doesn't end there. He tried to attack a reporter. He went and tried to physically put hands on, assault another human being. He tried to inflict bodily harm on another person. And the only reason why he did not commit assault is because the Texas police held him back. Instead of arresting his ass, which they should have done, they would have arrested you, they would have arrested me. They're playing interference. And he's being held back. And yet what's funny is, as for those of you who know, I ran against him in the last election. What's funny to me is that anytime you brought up this record, people his supporters will come out and go, oh, that's not important. That was last year. Oh, he's so much better now. Yeah, we shouldn't hold that. But I can guarantee you those same righteous, pompous hypocrites who would think nothing of a legislator who's making laws regarding education getting drunk off his ass would be the first ones to pull the switch on Miss Woodward, who would be the first ones to say, yes, that's out. This Dallas teacher, oh, she engaged in adult pornography. She should be fired. If you're okay with a Texas legislator making laws regarding education, being drunk on the job and trying to attack somebody, but you're not okay with a teacher who did something stupid 16, 20 years ago, you are being a hypocrite. But we think nothing of it, do we? Another little interesting tidbit. Out here at Humble, and of course I'm picking on Humble because that's the district I know, we have a school board member who used to be the president of the school board, who is now on the school board, Robert Sitton, who attacked a family member, who committed assault against a family member. Nobody held him back in this particular situation. He committed assault. The man has a criminal record. When we come back from the break, I've got some interesting takes, some interesting comments from people regarding how we should just let it go. And I'm fairly sure these are the same people that would hang Miss Woodward from the highest branch for something she did 16, 20 years ago that was not illegal. I'd like to remind you that assault is illegal. And at least the only reason why Dan Huberty didn't assault a reporter was because the police didn't do their job. Instead, they played PR and held him back. We'll be right back, guys, after these messages. Don't go anywhere. You're on social media? Well, so are we. Want more? The Libertarian Professor Radio Show? Then visit us on Facebook at The Libertarian Professor. Or, if you're on Twitter, check us out at TL Professor. Once again, Facebook, The Libertarian Professor, and Twitter, TL Professor. See you online.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. TNO produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. TNO, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
This station and hundreds of other radio stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed. And because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Liberty Radio Texas, broadcasting from Liberty County, Texas. Tune in for the best political talk show, music variety shows, and all the country and rock we can cram in between. Here's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.libertyradiotexas.com or download the app onto your smartphone.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product, this is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing. No one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, From fruity to cookies, or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and a choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm, of course, Scott Ford, the Libertarian Professor. Your home for conservative and libertarian talk radio. Anarchists need not apply. You're wondering, where did that come from? Because anarchists are the ones who eviscerated Miss Woodward for doing the right thing, for calling the cops on a suspected DUI, a person who was driving under the influence, driving intoxicated, being a danger to himself and others. Miss Woodward made the phone call and was eviscerated on social media, and one of the anarchists decided to complete the proud anarchist tradition of throwing fireballs and fire Molotov cocktails, and decided to firebomb her career. Of course, she was engaged in adult acting, like early 20s, 21, 22 years old. She's 38 years old right now. Closer to 40 than she is to 30. You got a lot of wisdom in 16 years. You got a lot of wisdom in 16 years. She didn't break the law. And, of course, now we're talking about the hypocrisy. Now, maybe you're out there and you say, no, you know what, Scott? No. We have to get rid of her. We have to have morals and standards when it comes to education. And by the way, I don't disagree with you. I think the bar should be high for teachers. We have a sacred duty to the education and character formation of children. We should be above reproach. And if she was like that Ohio band teacher I told you about before the break, who had a night job of doing internet porn, then I'd say, yeah, get rid of her. But this is something she did 16, 20 years ago. She did this at the age a lot of people are in college doing really stupid things. Where do we draw the line? Where do we say, look, that was not the brightest idea. You have the wisdom. You have the maturity now. You're not doing it anymore. You see that that wasn't the right thing to do. Let's move on. But that's not the situation here. What's really interesting to me is that according to the news articles, Dallas ISD was aware of past behavior, but we're okay, cleared her, said, not a problem. But then when it came to light, when it became public, oh, no. We can't have that. No, we must be prim and proper. We can't have that here. Already cleared her. But now it's an issue. Why is it an issue? Because it's making the news. And we can't have that. Now, we're talking, of course, about the double standard. And maybe you're out there and you say, Scott, no, I still disagree with you. She still need to be fired. Let me ask you a question. If you have children out there, have you seen Wreck-It Ralph? Have you taken the kids to go see Wreck-It Ralph? Do you own a copy of Wreck-It Ralph? Do you own a copy of Shrek? Have you taken the kids to see? You're going, where are you going with this? Just follow along, class. Just come with me for the ride. Have you watched Wreck-It Ralph? Has your kids watched Wreck-It Ralph? Do you own a copy of Wreck-It Ralph? Do you own a copy of Shrek? Have you taken the kids to see Shrek? You are aware that Sarah Silverman starred in Wreck-It Ralph, a kids movie. Sarah Silverman. If you don't know who she is, YouTube search her. Have your kids along with you when you're doing it. I am sure they'll enjoy the many vulgar jokes that she has. She talks about female anatomy. She talks about male anatomy. She has all sorts of colorful language. In fact, she's probably one of the dirtiest female comedians out there currently. Her material is completely adult, which is fine. She has an adult audience. She's a completely adult comedian. But I guess it's okay if she does a kids movie. Then we don't care about that. Well, Scott, how can you equate pornography with this? Have you listened to Sarah Silverman? If you wouldn't let your kids watch Sarah Silverman, and this, by the way, is still her shtick, then how much of a hypocrite do you have to be then to support her in this kids movie? Shrek, Eddie Murphy. Guy's a riot. Love Eddie Murphy. Loved him in Raw when he was talking to Richard Pryor about how Bill Cosby, this is kind of funny, how Bill Cosby was upset with his adult language and, he cussed and all this. I think that's kind of funny, by the way, especially if you're following Bill Cosby now. But Eddie Murphy made it big by being an adult entertainer. His content was adult in nature. And yet, he's a kid actor. Why? Because he matured. He grew up. We don't hold that against him. How about anything with Will Ferrell? Do you have your kids watch anything with Will Ferrell? Will Ferrell does a lot of kids' voices or kid cartoon voices. Remember Elf? You've seen Elf, right? Have you seen Will Ferrell do stand-up? Have you seen his thing about George Bush? Where he, again, this show is not for kids, but on the stage, he is basically dry humping, pardon the language, somebody who's supposed to be Condoleezza Rice. That is his shtick. He's an adult entertainer. But yet, we turn a blind eye to this when he's in a kid's show. The reason why I'm saying this, ladies and gentlemen, is if we're holding teachers to a level of accountability to morals and ethical standards, how about we hold these same things to every person that deals with our children? Look, we got a state legislator, Dan Huberty, drunk on camera, tries to assault somebody. Despite the fact I can't stand the guy, he is on the educational committee. He is the one making laws regarding our children, our education, teachers' qualifications. He has more impact than Ms. Woodward has. But yet, when you bring that up, oh, no, we can't. Oh, that was last year. It was last year he tried to attack somebody. We moved on since then. These hypocritical, self-righteous, pompous, nose in the air, arrogant fools would be the same people that would look at Miss Woodward and say, get rid of her. Oh, pornography. Yeah, 16, 20 years ago. What has she done since then? She became a certified teacher with a master's degree in science. She's won merits for being a teacher 2 years in a row. How about Sylvester Stallone? You take the kids to see any of the Spy Kid movies? I think Sylvester Stallone was in one of them. You ever watch anything with the kids with Sylvester Stallone? Do you know that Sylvester Stallone got his film start doing softcore pornography? Yeah, he did. Sylvester Stallone was in a softcore porn. In fact, you can find a list of famous actors who did porn in their careers to get a head start, to get their foot in the door. But yet, oh no, we don't hold that against them. We don't look at them forever as being a porn actor. Oh no. But yet we have this double standard. Look, I ever hold everybody accountable that works with children, that deals with children, or we're being hypocritical. Now, what's interesting is out here in Humble, we have a school board member, I think he's going up for re-election, who has a criminal record. Robert Sitton has been convicted. He pleaded no contest to assault against a family member. I think that's called domestic violence. Maybe I'm incorrect about the term, but his arrest record, his no contest paper shows clearly he has a misdemeanor that was pleaded down for assault against somebody over 18 and a family member. I'm going to let you do the math on this one. Over 18, so it wasn't a child, but is also a family member. What does that say? What does that scream to you that he did? And yet, interestingly enough, he's a school board member. Now, I'm going to read you something. This is from the Kingwood Underground. The Kingwood Underground is, it's this pathetic posting area. It's this thread. It really is where people go when they have no life. You're going, well, why are you there? I Googled it, okay? This was posted 3 years ago. A friend told me about KU posts a few days ago showing court papers of Robert being arrested for family violence, and I'm reading directly from the article here. Sorry, I don't know how to post the pictures of the court papers, but I'm sure someone on here does. Why that hasn't come up till now, I'll never know, but want to pass on what I know from being his neighbor for many years. And then he goes into this. Now, keep in mind, there are no big news stories about this. Now, I got a question for you. What should be a bigger deal? What should make press? Now, keep in mind, Miss Woodward is making national news. Miss Woodward has made Maxim, has made New York Post, has made Fox News for something she did 16, 20 years ago. Didn't break the law, didn't hurt anybody. But a teacher who did porn 20 years ago, that's national news. A school board member, a school board president who has been convicted, pleaded no contest of assault against a family member over 18, you do the math, that's not even making local news. That's not even on the local Observer, which understandable if you know what the Observer is. That's not even local news. Folks, you might think pornography is immoral. Fine. You might think, hey, she should be fired. Okay, that's your opinion. She did not hurt anybody. She didn't assault anybody. She didn't break the law. I've given you 2 examples of very high-ranking people. A Texas state rep, District 127, Dan Huberty, who was drunk on camera on the job trying to attack somebody. If he got his hands on him, that would have been assault. We have a school board member who committed assault. And yet, both of these stories were buried. Both of these stories were buried. Now, what's interesting is the response. Here's the response. So this person, right, talks about a school board member who's got a criminal record, who committed assault, okay? Here's the response. Dear ML, this is the person who posted it, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself? The person who posted it isn't the one who committed assault. The person who posted this is talking about the fact that Robert Sitton committed assault. He's a school board member. But yet, you should be ashamed of yourself for bringing this to light? You should be ashamed of yourself. Are you saying that you and your spouse never had a loud argument? There's a big difference between a loud argument and putting hands on somebody. You should mind your own business, i.e., read, you should look the other way when a guy is beating up on a family member. I've known Robert for 30 years. Well, I guess that's okay then. And have never known him to be nothing less than an outstanding citizen. Humble is lucky to have him. What's another one? Here's what I see. I see someone who has that account for 4 hours, and the first post you make is absolutely skewered somebody who's running for an elected office. I'm not calling your intentions into question because I don't know you or your family. However, I hope you can see how it would be hard for someone like me to assume you have another. So this person's questioning the guy's agenda. Look, even if it's somebody's agenda, the fact remains a school board member has been committing assault, has been convicted. And people are like, oh, well, we're going to vote for him. Kingwood.com message board. Does anybody know more about this? It was on the other site. And here is an actual screen capture of the arrest record, okay? Robert Allen Sitton, disorderly conduct. It was originally written as assault, okay? A misdemeanor. It was originally written as an A, went down to a C. It was reduced. He pleaded no contest. No weapon involved. Family violence, yes. Now, what's interesting is the next post after this one. You do notice. This is the response. Okay. Now remember that a teacher is looking at losing their job for doing adult porn. okay, for doing adult acting, okay? You do notice that the date of the document is dated 7/14/02. I don't know this man, but I do know that people change over time. What if that was a fight with an out-of-control teenager? We don't know the facts. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Excuses. Absolute excuses. And what's amazing to me is that the same people who are going to self-righteously crucify somebody like Miss Woodward, who made a mistake 16, 20 years ago. Not an illegal mistake. We're not talking about an illegal mistake. We're talking about maybe a lapse of judgment. Maybe something she with wisdom, she would never have done. The same people that would crucify her because she's a teacher turn a blind eye to actors who are now performing for children who were in porn, actors who have completely adult routines doing children's stories, legislators who commit assault, voting for them again, school board members who are convicted of assault, voting for them again. These are the same people, ladies and gentlemen, who would crucify Miss Woodward and feel good about it, feel righteous about it, feel superior about it. Folks, teachers get paid the least out of everybody in this equation. They have the least amount of power, and yet we hold them to a level of accountability that we hold nobody else to. Maybe it's time to change that. Maybe it's time to hold other people accountable. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's BEEDE AC and Heat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
You're on social media? Well, so are we. Want more? The Libertarian Professor Radio Show? Then visit us on Facebook at The Libertarian Professor. Or, if you're on Twitter, check us out at TL Professor. Once again, Facebook, The Libertarian Professor, and Twitter, TL Professor. See you online.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. TNO produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. TNO, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers. More than an actual product, this is the name of the company that's going to lead you to a tobacco-free life. Apostle Claver here. ECV is where I went to break my cigar usage. Now I'm a happy vape fan. Vaping, healthy, more socially acceptable. The new cool thing, no one's better in Texas to intro you to the world and tech of vaping than electronic cigarette vaporizers. Bart, Chantal, Max, and Chris will teach you every feature of the dozens of vaping devices to choose from. ECV has a cornucopia of flavors, from fruity to cookies or even tobacco, each made from all natural products. No carcinogens, no smoky smell, and the choice of nicotine levels. Slowly drop your nic level down to 0 and break your tobacco habit with no jitters or stress while enjoying relaxing inhalation. You've been wanting to do it, so do it. Stop smoking and enjoy it. Electronic cigarette vaporizers, 2755 Gessner in Houston. Call 713-939-8273, 713-939-VAPE, or see the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name, of course, is Scott Ford, the Libertarian Professor, your home for conservative and libertarian talk radio. This show is live Tuesday, February 7th on the YouTube channel. If you're listening to replays, be sure to catch the following internet radio stations that play our show: RagingElephantsRadio.com, BlackMarketLiberty.com, and, of course, LibertyRadioTexas.com. Thank you guys for playing this show, even with the very odd release schedule. And we're talking about Resa Woodward, the Texas teacher who's looking at getting fired for something she did 16, 20 years ago. Now, I want you to picture this for a second, okay? This young, well, she's 38 years old. And this is not insulting. I'm not saying that to be insulting. I'm not saying she's old. But 38 years old. I want you to be very clear about this. She's 38 years old. What she did when she was in her early 20s. 21, 22, I mean, this very, very early 20s. And so while I'm not calling her an old woman, what I am saying is that there is a big chunk there where maturation happened, where maturity and wisdom came into effect. In that time period, she got a teaching certification. She got a master's degree. I believe it's in science. And how did she choose to use this master's? First of all, if you got a master's degree in science, you can make a lot more money by not going into the classroom. If you have a master's degree in science, you can make over double the pay, at least, by never stepping foot into a classroom. But how did Miss Woodward decide to spend her adult life? Where did she decide to put her energy? Where did she decide to give of herself? In the classroom. She decided to be a teacher. Not because she had to be, not because she couldn't find another job. And yes, there are teachers out there, that's why they teach. Wish we could get rid of them. Wish we could get rid of administrators who just want the next promotion too. But Miss Woodward got into teaching when she could have done other things that paid a lot more money. And now what's sad about this is somebody who spent years teaching, who has given of herself. If you Google her name, it's all about pornography. It's all about the stories about the pornography. Dallas News is covering it. DailyMail.co is covering it. Coed.com is covering it. Breitbart.com is covering it. New York Daily News. I mean, these are the results. Now, I don't care how much you've come to terms with that. Imagine being in a situation where everybody knows about a mistake you did almost 20 years ago. Imagine having that the only thing that shows up when anybody searches you. Imagine being this lady who has been a teacher, who should be known for what she did in the classroom. She's got to know people are searching for these porn videos, for these pictures. Imagine that for a second. Waking up with that over your head. Not only waking up with that over your head, but waking up with the fact that you might lose your job over your head. And again, I know, Resa, and we're Facebook friends, and I know that's a whole new term because Facebook friends, you're familiar with each other, but we don't go get coffee together. You don't have conversations. It's like, hey, how you doing? But I remember the post that she posted when this all fell apart. And she was heartbroken. I mean, you could tell in the post. It wasn't about being embarrassed. It wasn't about, oh no, they discovered my past as an adult actress. It wasn't, oh, oh man, it was, she was heartbroken. It was about the fact that she was no longer in the classroom working with children. That should tell you really about the character of the person. That should tell you about where this person's heart is. When they are devastated, not by, oh no, everybody knows that I was in porn, but, oh no, I can't work with the children anymore. Oh no, I can't shape young minds anymore. And again, I really don't know her very well. But you could tell by her post, by the first thing that she posted when all this hit, that was her first concern. And this person has been pulled out of a classroom. Again, not because she did this stuff. Dallas ISD isn't trying to fire her because she did this. They cleared her of this. They're trying to fire her because it went public. And again, we have to ask the question, if Dallas ISD bases their moral compass simply on the news, what other skeletons does Dallas ISD have in their closet? Now, that should be a question to you. Now, let's say that you're still not convinced. Let's play a little what if. Would you want a teacher in the classroom who smoked pot and it's illegal? Would you want a teacher that you knew for a fact smoked pot? Some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. Would you want a teacher in the classroom who was an alcoholic? Some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. Some of you are going, where are you going with this? How about somebody who does cocaine? How about a teacher who does cocaine? Would you want your child taught by somebody who does cocaine? Would you want your child to look up to somebody who did cocaine? What about somebody who did cocaine and pot? What about somebody who killed somebody by running them over? And you're going, Scott, where are you going with this? Here's where I'm going with this. If you said, heck no, I wouldn't have a teacher who smoked pot. I wouldn't have a teacher who did cocaine. I wouldn't have a teacher who did cocaine and pot. I sure heck wouldn't want a teacher who's an alcoholic, and I wouldn't want a teacher who ran somebody over and killed them. I just described qualities of our last three presidents, not counting Trump. President Obama, who children look up to, whose schools are going to be named after, has freely admitted that he did cocaine and he did pot. George Bush Jr., his wife ran somebody over and killed him. George Bush Jr. has said he was an alcoholic. He did pot. Bill Clinton. Oh my God. Bill Clinton. How many things did he do? And how many people out there, if you're still on the hook, how many of you would have voted for Hillary Clinton after everything she did? Why do we hold teachers to a level of accountability we hold nobody else to? Now, I'm not saying, again, I want to make it very clear, I'm not saying we let teachers off the hook. I fully believe in the fact that teachers should be held to a higher level of standards, because apparently it's the only people we're holding to that standard. We no longer hold our politicians to that standard, even though they're the ones making the laws. We no longer hold our presidents to this standard. We no longer hold our sports figures to these standards. We no longer hold our entertainers to this standard. We no longer hold anybody to any moral standards, any ethical standards, no matter how many children they influence. But we hold the people who get paid the least and work the hardest, the teachers, to a standard we hold nobody else to. It's either time we start holding other folks accountable or give teachers a break, and firing a lady who's an excellent teacher for something she did 16 years ago is a crime. We'll be right back after these messages.
Did you miss an episode of The Libertarian Professor, or just want to go back and listen to one of your favorites? Then visit thelibertarianprofessor.online. You can find links to our shows on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. Once again, that is thelibertarianprofessor.online.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E ACandHeat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. T&O produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much, much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. T&O, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com, or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, this is Scott Ford, the Libertarian Professor. When I want to listen to music that doesn't suck, I tune to BlackMarketLiberty.com. And welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're kind of on our last segment here. Thank you for joining me. Whether you're joining me live, Nora, sorry I missed your comment there, or you're listening to the replay on wonderful internet radio stations like RagingElePhantsRadio.com, BlackMarketLiberty.com, or LibertyRadioTexas.com. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for putting up with that my weird schedule. Last week, I tried to do a Tuesday, Thursday show. You might notice I'm not really doing the 7 and 9 anymore at night. Mainly because I wasn't getting home until like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. It was crazy. Houston traffic, man. I'm telling you what, 59 is a work of the devil. It's just, the only saving grace about 59 is the HOV lane has now also allowed you to pay the toll. So if you pay the King's tax, as the great, amazing Doc Green says, then you can bypass some of the traffic. Otherwise, good luck with that. Moving on, one of the things I want to talk about before we go, and I talked about this previous show, Betsy DeVos, well, whatever the hell she pronounces her name, but the new educational secretary. Interestingly enough, my wife and I are actually split on this one. My wife is very much not happy about it. I'm like, you know what? She can't break education any more than it's broken. So, of course, I'm right. And now I know she's listening to the show, because when the delay hits, I'll get a hey, or my door will open and I'll get the look. You know, guys, you know the look I'm talking about. The look like, son, you done messed up. You messed up big time. But I haven't gotten the look, so I guess my wife doesn't listen to my show. It's fair enough. She gets to hear me talk all the time anyways. So Betsy has been confirmed as the educational secretary, really in kind of a historic vote. Betsy DeVos voice, a wealthy Republican donor with almost no experience in public education. Yeah, she's just not qualified to be the educational secretary. She has no qualifications whatsoever to be the Department of Education secretary. But don't worry, there's been other secretaries of education who have no business being there. And again, I maintain, I did an entire show, which is she can't break it. I mean, honestly, she can't break education any more than it's been broken. And the funny thing, and I kind of get a laugh out of this, is that all these people who are so anti-school choice are having a cow over the new Department of Education. Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. The Department of Education is the most worthless organization, one of the most worthless agencies out there. Government education is not working the way it should. And by the way, I did an entire show about what's the purpose of education. Go for it, watch it. It's a great show. But again, I don't think she can make education any worse. If you look at all the empirical evidence, if you look at test scores, if you look at how we're accountable to the rest of the world, she can't make it any worse, folks. Really. She was confirmed by the Senate as the nation's educational secretary on Tuesday. That would be today. If you're listening on Tuesday, February 7th, that is. Was confirmed by the Senate and the nation's educational secretary on Tuesday. Now, this is the wild thing. Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, had to do the tiebreaker. Yeah. It was 50-50. It was a 50-50 vote. And so, of course, in a tie in the Senate, it goes to the vice president to break the tie. And so, obviously, Mike Pence, one would expect, would vote for her confirmation. The 51-50 vote capped an all-night vigil on the Senate floor, give me a break, where one by one Democrats denounced her to a mostly empty chamber. But they did not get a third Republican defection that would have stopped her, a billionaire who has devoted much of her life to promote charter schools and vouchers, from becoming the steward of the nation's nearly 100,000 public schools. Now, charter schools should make you kind of go, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because charter schools, the way they're doing them now, not the old way they used to do them. The old way they used to do them, there was decent. Now the new way to do these charter schools is big business runs them. They basically get non-compete clauses. They get your taxpayer money. So it's really not private school. It's really not educational choice. It's corporations coming in, buying out contracts, greasing hands, greasing palms, and really taking choice away from the parents. Look, the only way that I think we can fix this problem is ESAs, educational savings accounts. Let people control their money. So Betsy DeVos is now the Secretary of Education, and liberals everywhere should be trying to understand what the problem is with the department to begin with. Anyways, you know, it's interesting, the news, and I've been following this to some degree. And this is an entirely different show that we'll probably cover later on. But it's amazing how we've given the House and the Senate, right? The House and the Senate belong to the Republicans now. The presidency is a Republican. Most of the states are Republican controlled. Have we seen yet the revolution that we were promised? Have we seen yet the changes that we were promised if we elect them? I don't know about you, but here in Texas, there's some bills that are working their way in Austin in a Republican-controlled House and a Republican-controlled Senate, specifically the House, that they're not conservative. The question is when are people going to wake up? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening or during the day when you're listening to it. As always, thank you for joining us. Don't forget, we are going to try to do the live feed on Facebook. And if you don't catch us on Facebook in the evening, if you don't like to stay up a little late, you can, of course, catch the replay on wonderful internet radio stations like RagingElePhantsRadio.com, where it all began, BlackMarketLiberty.com, as well as a new one to the family, LibertyRadioTexas.com. Until later, once again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging with me. I appreciate it. And until later, class dismissed.